Sandy was first to join, then Stephen, and goodness, hello everybody, sorry for that. Fred, and then Pat, Neha, good to see you. Penny, Yvonne, my favorite book publisher, and Anna, Robson. Okay, today, nice to see you all. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable time. Today's topic, my ideal customer. Oh, goodness gracious, right up your alley, Yvonne Jones. My ideal customer and what I can do for them. And before we start that, I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up, Yvonne, okay? Because I'm going to provide a PDF called Customer Service Magical Moments. I'm going to put a link to it underneath the video on the replay. And there's a PDF and a little video in there. And I also give a mention to Yvonne because she teaches me about customer service. So that's my contribution. I'm not going to say any more now from that. All right. So Sandy, first cab off the rank. Where you go?
Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about this, but what I found in my particular case is that the best or the people that I seem to target are people like myself. I don't mean my age. I mean more that they, have a passion for starting an online business. They're interested in affiliate marketing. And so the reality is I do get a lot of people that are, similar to myself, we'll say from age 55 to like I'm 77. So I do get a lot of people in that area because they relate to me well, just because we're from we'll say the same time zone, right? As far as what I can offer them is the main thing I offer them is coaching and guidance. And of course, I offer them an opportunity to save time and money. And so what I generally tell some of the people I'm working with is put your wallet away. I don't want you to spend 1 cent until you talk to me. And then we'll talk to making sure you understand why you're spending that dollar and the value you're going to get from it. So that's, some of the value. The other part of the value is, I guess, let's see, Mitali here. I just did another new book, by the way. It's not a business book. It's just a general book, but I do have a business book as well. So I'm doing that kind of stuff. I've sent you some referrals. I hope the gentleman joins. I've coached him to say, look, this is what you need to do. So I don't know if he's got in touch with you. Anyway, that's really about, my information with regard to the type of customers I'm dealing with. Today, I signed one up, which was a student just finishing her teaching degree. And but she wanted, I just mentioned to her that my son and daughter both have online programs, although they're both working. So it's a means of backup for them if they ever lose their jobs. Okay. So anyway, I hope that was useful or valuable.
Sandy, can I just clarify something? Do you mind?
Yes.
I understand the profile of your customer, 55, 77, same time zone, etc., etc. But rather than what you offer to your potential customers, tell me what you do for them. That's really what I'd like to know. What outcome can you create for your ideal customer?
Well, the outcome is that, they actually begin to, we'll say, earn their first dollar online. Right. And then they can go from there. But that's really the outcome of the whole program. But the other aspect of it is that I'm giving them access to, of course, free training. And then the main thing is, like I say, is the coaching to make sure that they're doing the training. And also I do confirmation that they did get the value from the training. So I think really it's to earn your first dollar online.
Okay, good. because the coaching and the training, they're the means to the end. You answered my question. Earning their first dollar online. That's really what I was looking for. Thank you very much, Sandy. Well done, mate.
Okay.
Penny, question.
So, Sandy, what is your business? What is your online business?
My online business, it's an affiliate program. It's called My Online Startup. It's a gentleman from Australia that runs the program. I'm lazy. I do affiliate marketing, right? I still do a lot of individual coaching as well, where I charge a fee, but main thing is affiliate marketing.
Okay.
And I have another program that I do as well to provide backup should the program that I'm using right now go down. I do traffic domination as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sandy. Any other questions for Sandy? Okay. Stephen, you're next cab off the rank, my man. Your ideal customer profile and what you do for them.
You're on mute, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you. I saw that. Just Mitali was signaling me. As you know, Peter, I don't, hold to the theory of the ideal customer or the avatar.
I know.
I'm maybe the exception to the rule, or maybe I'm the null set that proves the main set. I don't know. I deal with a variety of people, and I guess it's partly because I do a number of things, and so it attracts different people. First of all, most of my work, most of my promotion is through inbound marketing. I make myself available out there. I answer questions for people. I deliver material support to people. And because of doing that, other people find me and come to me. So I don't take everybody that comes. I do have, like Sandy said, I talk to them first and see if it's a good fit. Partly a fit for me, but also am I a fit for them? Am I going to be able to deliver to them? And I sometimes turn people away. Almost always, I refer them to somebody else. Again, a little bit like Sandy. I don't like to have somebody go begging. Rather, if we're not going to work together, I feed them on to someone who I think will be right for that person. But I bill myself as an online presence consultant, a business success guide, and a personal mindset mentor. And so that's three specific areas of the online function that people get involved in. I deal with the tech, and that's because I started with the tech way back when I got online. My first online sale was back in 1989. It was for $10 with a fellow that I knew, and I've built from there. But that is 4 years or three years and some months before the World Wide Web was even online, even a place to go. And it's about 10 years before the term e-commerce was actually coined. So I got, an early start in it. I've been online since ARPANET and NSFNet back in the 80s. And then I built my own bulletin board system in 1989, got online that way, and then got into internet and ran my own internet service provider company. So I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And I bring all that with me, which lets me share with people. So the online presence is getting people their place online, a place for their business and the things they do. As a business success guide, I've done a lot of businesses over the years. I know a lot of different kinds of business, and I bring that to the party and deliver that to people, focusing on their particular business. Just about any person who brings an existing business or a desire for a business, I've done that or done something similar to it. The longest I was ever in a job, if you will, or a business before what I do now, which really started when I was turning 60, was 3 years. So you take my experience, I started in business when I was 14. I've done a lot of different businesses. And I've learned, I've failed miserably in some, I've been very, very successful and sold some, and some I've just wound up because I've lost interest and moved on. But the experience has been very helpful to me. And then as a personal mindset mentor, that came later. It was the last part of it, but it came from the people I was helping anyway. And meeting with people, delivering ideas, and I had some really good mentors myself coming up in my process back before the internet, but especially since the internet. And I've been very, very, very lucky. Some big professional mentors have just kind of, I don't know, taken a liking and shared with me things that I could never have afforded to purchase on my own. And I've had coaches give me help along the way, and so I have the desire to give that back, the pay it forward kind of thing. So what I deliver to people is a custom vehicle, if you will, for them to seek out and develop their own success. And that doesn't have a particular person in mind. It has a variety of people who find me and who I can work with. And it's worked out very well for me. I don't disagree with the avatar concept. I object a little bit to those people who focus and drill down, to get the color of the eyes and the length of the hair and all those kind of things. I think they've got caught up in themselves, and they're delivering something that isn't realistic. I do understand where people want to focus into a range of people that fit into a bucket. I understand that, and it's easier. Certainly, it's easier to produce your own product, service, your own package to deliver. But I guess maybe I'm too creative and a little at my own mercy, in the sense that I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I love the facet that I've found where I can create custom solutions. I have the material, I have the knowledge and the experience. I can take just about any person and create a custom solution for them and deliver that to them to get them to that place, as Sandy said, to earn their first buck online. In my case, there's a fair bit of that. There's also people who already have an online business but want to take it to a new level, and I can find the pathways for them. I call it their journey of success, and I get them on the right pathway for that and guide them.
Thank you, Stephen.
So that's what I do with it.
So really, in a nutshell, you're offering custom solutions to a variety of people that you feel you can add value to.
Yes, exactly. Adding value. That's the key.
Okay, good. And by the way, as you're listening to each other, okay, please don't disregard the opportunity. I heard earlier, Sandy, you sent someone to see Mitali. Okay, please do that. If there are people that you are connecting with, that you feel that Neha can help, or Pat Dreyer can help, even whoever, right, Anna? If you feel that they could get benefit out of connecting with them, please make sure you do that, because that's one of the real purposes of this Your Next Level community, is to do exactly that. I want you to help each other, right? And all I'm trying to do is facilitate you to do that, okay? So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Sandy, so far. Fred, I know it's late for you, mate. It must be, what is it, maybe 12:20 in the morning, right, for you? You're on mute, mate. You're on mute.
Is that okay? Yeah, I put myself on mute. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's early for some or late for some, whichever way you look at it.
Well, I just appreciate the fact that you're joining us, Fred. Thank you very
No,
much.
glad to be here. Glad to be here. It was actually interesting when Stephen was giving his spiel there about his history and what he did. It was like I was listening to my own life story, because very similar starts. Like the same thing. I built my own PCs and had my own ISP in the early days, and when the green screens, and we had printers that were connected to electric typewriters to get them to work when we didn't have printers, all of that kind of stuff, and then grew up with it.
Wow.
So it was really listening to my own life story again. But however, back to business. So what I do is and again, very similar to Stephen, what I do is I help any small business with any online issues. So at the moment, I'm predominantly targeting restaurants and helping them with VIP type programs. Mm-hmm. So we're building VIP programs and managing those for them so they can get people in and offer special deals on birthdays or anniversaries or whatever it might be. But I also build budget websites for people and run a hosting service. So we offer weekly website payments, so people don't have to spend thousands. They can I'll build a website this week, and if they want to stop it next week, we'll stop it next week, and they pay weekly for it. So there's lots of opportunities there. But right now, my focus is on the VIP programs. So anybody that wants to use bots or automated marketing to attract clients, that's who I'm looking for.
So are you saying, Fred, that you deal both brick and mortar and online businesses? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Predominantly brick and mortar at the moment. Okay.
So how would you differentiate you from Stephen as far as the online business is concerned?
I suppose we're both in similar veins. I mean, you both use the same technologies. We probably use the same software.
Peter, I do. It's interesting. I'm listening to myself too. I do rental websites. I say, why buy when you can rent? And the same approach, which people find. I have a lot of people say, how can you possibly do that? The idea of letting them make rental payments and then stop. I take the risk. If it's not going to work for them, they stop. And
100%.
People are happy with that. Fred, I think that's just a tremendous way to do business.
And it also helps their cash flow.
Yes.
So, if somebody doesn't have $3,000 to start up with, but they've got $100 deposit and they've got a website and they pay weekly, keep moving on.
Good point, Fred. Okay. And by the way, the reason I pushed a little bit in terms of how do you differentiate yourself is because, in all honesty, you're not competing against each other either, right? And you know as well as I do, because you've been around for a long time, that people who are doing similar services to you are often the best joint venture partners that you can possibly find, right? So never ever view them as competition. So thank you, Fred, and thank you very much for staying up late, and I hope you're enjoying the red wine, mate.
Yep. Got to keep lubrication going.
Well, yeah, in fact, I tried some Thai wine today. I do not recommend it. It made my head spin after a glass and a half. Anyway, that's enough of that. Neha, nice to see you. Hong Kong's in the house.
Yes,
no disrespect to you, Stephen, but I'm going to ask you who your ideal customer is, right? And what do you do for them?
Wait,
yes.
Will you
talking
to me? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Hi, everyone. Neha, I have been living in Hong Kong for 20 years. Who is my ideal client? My ideal clients are, again, like who said before, Sandy, people like myself who have been in toxic relationships and are in toxic relationships, or they want to find someone as a partner. So these are the people that are attracted and they want beautiful, soul-fulfilling relationships. And what I do for them is I help them find the courage inside of them peace and happiness, which they search for on the outside, which they think that is on the outside, which is causing them a lot of pain and delusion. I help them to turn inwards and practice a lot more self-love. I help them strengthen their boundaries. I help them find that peace that they're looking for inside of themselves, and then help them to move to the next step. So first, taking care of themselves, and then inviting another person into their lives. And in terms of leaving toxic relationships, it's about understanding where they are first and what they want next. Okay, so they what they don't want, they know what they don't want, but they're not clear on what they actually do want. So this is somewhere I bring them clarity for what they want. So I help them with better their relationship first with themselves, and then find the right people or people that may be right for them.
That's
Short and
interesting. That's interesting. You actually help them clarify what they really want out of a relationship.
Yes.
Because for many people, they could be in relationships and putting up with a whole lot of rubbish, right? And just put up with it because they don't know what to do. So you would be the person that they haven't got to be in the divorce court or heading for it. They simply are unhappy.
Yeah.
So,
Very happy.
so ladies and gentlemen, if you know anyone who's unhappy, why don't you send them over to talk to Neha? That's what I'm getting at. Would you?
There's a lot of that around.
Absolutely. In this day and age, for goodness gracious, Neha, you could have a potential client list as long as your arm, right? Well done. Thank you very much indeed for that. Anyone got a question for Neha? Okay. All right. Thank you, Neha. It was really good. And please remember, as you're listening to people, not just the people here I got with me now, but those watching the replay, please reach out to them and ask questions about anything you'd like to know more about. The whole purpose of this is for not people just to promote themselves to you, but to provide their support to you to help you grow your business. So everyone on this session can do exactly that in different ways. And that's the beautiful part about it. Pat Dreyer, your call, my man.
I think we have a question first.
Oh, I missed it. From whom?
From me, Peter. I just
Oh, Mitali, my apologies.
That's okay. That's okay. And for now, for me, I know lots of friends who are in unhappy relationships. I can see it. Sometimes it takes you being outside of the relationship to see what's going on. And you go, that's not a happy couple. But I wouldn't even know how to refer those people to you, because it's almost so like, would I wait for these people to sort of say, hey, I'm not happy? Because I think your client list on the one hand is anybody. I mean, I think every single person here has experienced being in at least one relationship where we weren't happy, but we just kind of stay in it because it's just easier to stay in it.
Yes.
But it's more like, how would I know several people who could use you, but do they know they could use you? That's my issue. So I was like, I wouldn't know how to refer these people to you because I don't know. Like, how would I go about it? I'm pretty much criticizing their relationship and saying, yeah, it's not working. You need to see somebody about this.
Yeah, only if they come and if they want to do something about it, then they will reach out. I mean, which is why I share about what I do on groups where people are in relationships like that, or then they'll read about what I do, and then they say, how do you help people come out of toxic relationships? I say, yeah, we have to make a plan for that. So somebody actually is. That's when they realize, oh, okay, there is someone who can actually help.
Yeah.
It's not possible unless otherwise. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Good question. Good point, Anna, in the chat. And by the way, Neha, could you just think about this while we listen to other people present what they do? Could you just come up, because that was it was in my mind as well. How do we go about recommending someone to you without feeling like we're sticking with our nose in their private business, right? That's really what the question was. So if you could think of a way for us to approach that question, bearing in mind what Anna said in the chat as well, then let us know before we finish. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Neha. And thank you, Mitali, for that. And Anna, thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Pat.
Penny,
Oh,
Penny, go ahead.
Mitali, if these are good friends that are like talking to you, and if they are like venting or just like need someone to talk to, you can just say like, well, if you're not happy, I have a really good friend that I would like you to connect to. Maybe I'm too close to you, or it hurts me to see you sad or upset.
That's
Right,
a
and you
really,
can do
really
it-
good. That's a really good idea. I think the biggest issue I tend to find is it tends to be on one of those nights when we're drinking a bottle of wine, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning it comes out but then by the next morning it's all hidden under the carpet again, and we're back to being good. But I know they're not happy.
But then you can check in with
getting
them.
to realize that, and then they could really need somebody like Neha who'd be fantastic for them. But it's just getting them to realize after 1 o'clock in the morning when they've had a bottle of wine, beyond that they're actually genuinely unhappy and they shouldn't be in this relationship.
But then the next day you could check in with them and say, thank you for sharing with me, or the conversation, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way? Right? Because sometimes it's just
good idea. Good idea. Thank you. It's just difficult, isn't it? You want to be there for them, but you almost feel like you're prying as well, and you don't want to offend them. And yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, thank you.
okay. Yvonne, you had a question?
I had a thought. Thank you, Peter. I had a thought on that, Mitali, is that sometimes they don't even have to vent, but you see a situation. And I have done this in other situations where I just simply say, like we're having a conversation, and I bring it up as if it's, like, oh, I hadn't given it any thought. It's like, wow, I was on an event, at an event recently, or I met this lady recently, and she is amazing. She really made me think about some things about taking care of yourself first and really getting to know yourself first before you can bring somebody else in. How many of us really take time to know ourselves first and, just have it as a dialogue? It's like you just thought about it and you don't mention anything about their problems. But if they really have a problem, then they can see themselves. And, maybe, because some people will push it under the rug, as you said, maybe they'll say, well, who is she?
Thank you, Yvonne. You've actually just sparked an idea. What I can even do is say, oh, I've met Neha and I wish I knew her several years ago when I was in a toxic relationship and I wouldn't have stayed in it for as long as I did. But then I'm not talking about their relationship. I'm talking about my past relationship. So
exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Penny and Yvonne. That's given me ideas of how I can talk about it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Neha, one last comment from me, and then I'll get to you, Pat. The relationship doesn't have to be in a mess in order for you to help them, right? The reason I raise that issue is because one of the most common things I see is a conflict between a husband and a wife. If the wife or which one of the partners is running an online business, the other one's not approving of it, and it's impacting on their relationship, right? Would that be also a relationship issue that you could handle? Neha?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because I do come across that very regularly, all right? Very regularly.
It's about managing expectations of each other and like themselves. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Neha. You're probably going to sit on $1 million from now on. Well done. Well done. Pat Dreyer, thank you very much for your patience and waiting.
No worries. That was a great conversation. As a matter of fact, we're going on this year. It'll be 40 years for us that we've been married, and I can say it's been good. So no complaints there. But Neha, we might need you. I'm kind of a jokester, and there are occasions when people will ask us how long we've been married, and I'll say 8 good years, and of course that doesn't go over well with the wife. But Peter, thank you so much for putting these on again. I appreciate it. And I'm Pat Dreyer, and I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona in the USA, Grand Canyon State. And I'm in network marketing. It's 6:30 here. So we got both sides of this thing going as far as time goes. But my ideal customer is motivated, coachable. They have money and influence, and they're looking for change. And so what we do is we open their mind up to possibilities. And you find that the biggest complaint that most people have is that they don't have any time or money. And with people who are already successful, they usually just don't have enough time with their family. And so through personal development and professional development, we kind of show them how to see things differently. And we kind of show them how to seek freedom. And the freedom that comes with turning their annual income into a monthly income. And so it's the kind of thing where, how would it feel if you were able to do that? And how would you act if you had that kind of freedom? So there's so much that could be done with this. And there's so much proof that people can actually change their annual income into a monthly income. We just open up their minds to those possibilities. Now, like I said, that's an ideal customer. It's hard to find, but one of the ways we go about finding them is we know that every broke person knows somebody with money. So we just ask them, who do you know?
Okay. Pat, network marketing is probably the best business platform that's ever been created. Okay. The problem with network marketing is the network marketers. Okay, because they stuff up everything by going about their marketing the wrong way. I'm not saying you, Pat, but many people, as you know, do in terms of network marketing. However, and I know that Pat Kern, right, you're involved also from a network marketing business platform perspective. My question to you, Pat Driver, is this: as an experienced network marketer and a successful network marketer that you are, what advice would you give to people who have a hang up about the very word MLM?
They just don't understand it. It's if you take it and try to get somebody to put into opening a business versus a network marketing company, you find that they're pretty much the same as what you're going to have to do, except with the business, you're going to spend a whole lot of money on inventory, on licensing, on getting a building, just the whole process that goes with it. With network marketing, you can literally start today. As soon as you sign up, you can start your business today and go do the same things that you would probably do in a business. Although in a business, you're waiting for the people to come to you, whereas with network marketing, you're really going out and talking to people about it. And if you do it the right way, like I say, you're not going out there and trying to shove product down their throat, do everything. What you're trying to do is open them up to possibilities of what they could do if they were to take this seriously and run it as if they did a business. But there are a lot of people that do network marketing wrong, and it gives it a bad name. But I'll tell you what, when you got something that's doing about $2 billion a year in business annually around the world, there's something going on there.
And Pat, really, some of the very best marketers in the world. I mean, the Eric Warrays of this world and the Bob Heiligs of this world. These are successful network marketers, and they show that they can make a platform like network marketing come alive for anybody. All you need is the commitment to do the job. And Penny, you're in the same role, so you know that as well as I do, right? Thank you, Pat. Is there any other questions any other points you'd like to make?
It's, this is really one of the only places where the average person can make an above average income without having to go through the different levels of employment, and even if you can get hired. Because sometimes at a place of business, you can't get hired unless you have a degree. That's your ticket into the door. And with this one, we've got people that haven't even graduated from high school, and they're on the list over there on Business from Home. Number 2 income earners at about $1 million a month. And we're talking somebody that never made it through high school. So the average person can have an above average income and above average lifestyle with this, and certainly the freedom that comes with it.
Okay, thank you very much, Pat. Very much indeed. Penny,
thanks again, Peter.
My pleasure. Oh, before I get to you, Penny, one quick thing for everybody who's contributing here. Please, if you would like, underneath the replay, by all means put a link to any landing page you have, any website you want people to go to. It's your call to do that, okay? And what I will do is I usually make I download this video and I upload it to YouTube, and I take your links, including your Facebook link and also any link you put in the content, and I'll put it up there in the description box on YouTube so people who are on my channel can see that. And I also send you the link, the people who are on here, I'll send you the link to that YouTube video, and I'll also send it to my list. And that's my way of trying to support you to build your business, because you're taking the time to share here with me. All right, so thank you for that, and I'm delighted to help you and support you in that way. All right, Penny.
Oh, thanks, Peter. You're always so willing to help everybody. It's amazing. I love it. Yay.
Yeah. Well, I wish I looked like Sandy Murray. I could be Santa Claus.
I'm sure Santa Claus loves to help, but he needs a break too once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm Penny.
Not anymore. Jeez, look at that.
It's time off, right?
Yep.
So I'm Penny Kennedy. I'm from Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, Alberta border. I work on one province, but I live in the other, and it's literally just across the street. So that's kind of a unique situation. So my ideal customer, I can't even think right now because I'm so excited about what I'm doing, which is to do with my customers. Anybody who's struggling a little bit in their health or financial. So I've had a couple really big wins in the last 11 days. And it's people that have reached out to me about my personal health journey. And so what I did for them, or what I've offered these two particular groups, is one, we went through tweaking her financial state, and she was finally able, she joined my team, and with a little bit of coaching, and now they have to be willing to try new things, get out of their comfort zone, and admit to themselves, not necessarily to me, where their struggles are. So we went and tweaked her financial, and she's been working 2 jobs for the last 12 years and barely making ends meet, to she gave her notice, and yesterday was her last day at her second job, and she paid off her mortgage. So that was a huge win. And that is not what I have to do or anything. That is just something I do from my heart. I take that extra time to help them focus where their struggles are, if they're willing, right? I never ever would ask them to show me their financial states or anything, right? Like, that's kind of personal. So that was a pretty big win. Also, we are doing a 30-day challenge, my company is. And I reached out to to 12 people, men and women, and asked if they wanted a little free extra coaching, because I know they all struggle in their health challenge, some with arthritis pain, knee pain, age, and some with just weight. So what I do over and above for them is every week we have, in this particular challenge, we have a weigh-in and measurements. So when they come to the house, for the ones that live around, when they come to the house and we do that, I make a little treat bag for them. So for example, I have 2 ladies that really struggle with sugar cravings on their weight loss journey. So I made sugar-free chocolates for them. I have another girl that craves carbs a lot. So I made a very low carb fruit biscuit for her, right? I just go that little over and above. And I've also taken the time to create a group. We're on a Fitbit challenge, and every week we up the ante. So I've created some workout videos, 30 days of 30-minute workout videos. That is actually me on the video. Oops. So not professional, right? It's just something that I enjoy doing, and we celebrate their wins. And one of the people, so the least person that lost weight, because that's our focus right now, in that particular challenge was 8.9 pounds in a week. And all of a sudden they don't have knee pain anymore, which was kind of peculiar because a week, that's pretty quick, but it's the way it's been going. So my ideal customer per se is anybody that's struggling with anything. I want to help, like truly want to help live a healthier lifestyle. I've struggled myself in health in the past, but I've been focused on health since I was 12, really focused. So I'm very relatable. And if I'm not relatable, I will connect with somebody who can. And that's just me in a nutshell and what I do, what I can offer.
Thank you. Any questions for Penny? You seem to
Yeah, Penny, what's the 30-day challenge about?
So the 30-day challenge is a weight loss challenge, and it's only for 30 days. There's a system that you take to help you out to get your metabolism kind of boosted in that 30 days. And then what I do over and above for my group is anybody who has like a fitness watch, we create a little group every day of the week. We have a challenge and we set a goal. So last week was try to hit 6,000 to 8,000 steps. So then that was the first week. And we celebrate in that little group. And the second week, now we're upping the ante. We're doing a 30-minute workout video and hitting that same steps or 10,000. So we just do that. And then I also throw in little health tips, little recipe tips, a recipe book that I made a PDF of, which is just healthier choice meals. And it's just common everyday foods. Like you don't need to go buy anything fancy, or if you don't like avocado, you need to tell me, right? I'll switch that up, find something that'll work. That's something what I do over and above. If they're struggling that day, I really want a chocolate bar. What can I do? I will give you different options that you can have. And yeah, that's what it's about. It's just 30 days and try it. And if it's not for you, it's not for you, right?
Penny, I'm busting to ask you a question. May I ask you one?
Sure.
Today is the 15th of January, 2021. 12 months ago to the day, 15th of January, 2020, I was discharged from hospital, right? I had lost 25 kilos in 1 week, right? Ever since then, I've been trying to find people in the health and wellness industry who can tell me how to put weight on, not take it off, okay? And I haven't found anybody. And I'm still struggling. I mean, I don't want to go into the illness because most of you are probably aware of that anyway. But I'm still struggling to put weight on. And I don't like much sugar things, but I'm starting to eat that in a desperation. But that's putting on the wrong sort of fat. I know all that, right? So how can I put weight on? And I eat like a horse.
Okay. Do you eat a lot of protein?
Yes.
So protein and carbs for you, because you want to put good weight on, not substantial health or not substantial fat that's going to grow near your organs and create organ issues or health, heart problems, stuff like that. So a way to put weight on is try to do some like little resistant weight training because you're wanting to build muscle. And the more protein you can have, the better. Because, for example, 2 pounds of weights, just, I don't know, carrying a bucket or whatever. If you're eating a high protein, your muscle mass will double within 14 days.
So
even off of 2 pounds.
Okay, I'm not asking you to be a doctor, but you're telling me that I can't overdose on protein. Is that right?
No, you can't overdose on protein. No.
Okay, good. Someone's mentioned that to me before. I just wanted to check it out. Thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else got questions for Penny? Who was also a very fine network marketer, by the way. Okay. Yvonne, customer experience queen, your call.
Good morning again, everyone. My ideal customer, ideal client, it's a highly motivated female entrepreneur, 50 and wiser, who is a coach, a consultant, or a small business owner. And I say highly motivated. That's essential because too many people are dabbling. But if you want to grow your business, I love to work with you because I help my clients really exhibit courage and confidence to become the CEO of their own business. And the way we do this is that, first of all, I'm a certified life and a business coach. So I focus on personal development first to eliminate those emotional barriers and limiting beliefs that prevent us from growing. And we have them even though we may not be conscious of them a lot of times. And then once we have got through that, then we move to business development. And the area that I specialize is in helping my clients build strong relationships with their clients and customers so that they create a bigger impact, they make more money, and they have fun in their business with clients who love them and whom they love to work with. This way, they stop the constant customer chase. And I could say a lot more. Is that enough?
Any questions for Yvonne? I've got one. You mentioned you want to work with highly motivated people who are not dabblers, right? How do you classify a dabbler?
We first have a discussion, always ask questions, the right questions, and listen for the answers. And if someone, excuse me, based on what they say, where they are now, where they want to be, and are they willing to do the work that's going to take them from point A to point B? What have they done in the past? How long have they been in that particular position? How long have they wanted to grow? What have they done? Is it because they have not had the guidance they have, or is it that they just lack the motivation? They want to, but they're not motivated from within to move forward in their business. Because a lot of times we can say we want something, but are we doing the work that's going to get us to the point that we want to get to? And I try to find this out to discover this. And also as an accountability coach, it's essential to me to hold people accountable. Because I can tell you this from my personal experience. I work with some amazing coaches one-on-one. And I can remember, we talked about this, I think last week or sometime in the past, we talked about this right on this forum, that I had an issue with perfectionism based on beliefs that I had formulated way back when. And so despite the accolades and the what have you I received when I was offline, suddenly I came online and I didn't have anyone telling me, oh, you're great, you're doing this. And I did believe what I was doing was good enough. Not that I wasn't good enough, but what I was doing, producing, wasn't good enough. And so I would tell my coaches that, yes, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But it's interesting. Nobody ever said, when we got back, then it would be, yeah, I did it. Sure. But nobody ever said, sure, give me the URL. Let me check it out. I want to see it. And so it sat on my hard drive. I created a very expensive hard drive. So for me, when I work with people, I want to see what you tell me you're doing. Because I'm using myself as an example. Because if someone had said to me, and like I said, I paid good money. If someone had said, okay, where's the URL? Show me what you're doing. Let's take a look at it. Then they would have caught me and been able to help me with that. But they never, they just took my word for it. So all of those things I incorporate together. I'm sorry, my throat is still bothering me, so I have to swallow repeatedly. All of those I incorporate when I work with my clients because I just don't want them to tell me. I want to see it so I can help them move forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. Anyone got questions for Yvonne? Okay. I can assure you that you all have customers. If you'd like to fine-tune your customer service experience, reach out to Yvonne. I can tell you, I have no hesitation in recommending this lady, all right? So, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, Yvonne, but you are darn good at what you do. Now, before I get to you, Mitali, can I just go back to you, Neha? Do you have anything you can help us with in order to how best to recommend people to talk to you?
One thought that came to my mind, thank you, Peter, was share my podcast. I don't know, because somebody actually listened to my podcast and then they were able to resonate with a lot of what I was talking about, and I have about 8 or 9 of them so far. So maybe if that helps.
Good soft way to do it. Well done.
Excuse me, what is the name of your podcast?
I can post that. It's The Relationship Academy, but it's on Spotify and Anchor. Many other channels, but yeah, it's not the one that is on Apple.
Okay, make sure you post it, Neha, okay, in the comments.
Okay.
Yvonne's asking you for the URL, so she lives by the word.
Thank you, Yvonne. I will.
Can I ask Penny to post a link to her challenge as well in the comments as well?
Well, yes, Brett, good idea. Could you do that?
I can't post a link to my challenge because it's something I do personally. So there's no link to it, but I can, anybody who purchases from my business, I reach out to personally and ask what their struggles are.
Okay.
Because it's not always about weight loss, right? For example, deodorant. If somebody struggled with cancer, they should not have deodorant with aluminum in it. And tons of people don't know that, right? So it's just healthy living products. So, but I can post the link to my business, or you can reach out to me personally. I would love to chat.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll DM you. Yep.
Okay, thanks. And Neha, could you make sure you put that link also in the group? Okay, thank you very much for that. All right, Mitali, your turn.
Hi guys, I'm gonna make this quick because I have to get going in about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll make this quick. Okay, so if it's okay, Peter, can I just make a comment on something that Patrick said? Because you didn't say at the end of his any questions or comments, so we never got a chance to do any questions or comments.
Sure.
Was it Patrick? No, sorry, it wasn't Patrick. It was Pat Dyer. I'm sorry, Pat Dyer. Something I just want to say, Pat, is in the UK. You're in the US, is that correct?
I am.
Okay, so I don't know what it's like in the US, but in the UK, in the last, I would say 10 years, there's been a real sea change in the way people see network marketers. Because it seems to me in the UK, it's the network marketing companies that are really pushing products that are ethical and sustainable. They're not tester animals, they're vegan friendly. There's been a real attitude change, and I'm a user of a lot of network marketing products because I am vegan and I try and be sustainable and try and be good for the planet and all the rest of it. And it's flipping difficult trying to be this good all the time. So it's great having these marketers who educate me on what I'm buying. There's a wonderful lady I've just bought her products, and the company's called Enyo, and what their goal is to get rid of the world of cleaning products, so things like bleach and toilet duck and stuff like that, because it's actually going into the waters and killing our sea life. So they've created these products now, these cleaning products, where literally it's brushes and sponges that don't need anything. So you literally use water to clean everything in your house. So I was just the comment I was going to say, because I think Peter said, there's this bad feeling about network marketing and MLM and that kind of thing. I would say, apart from what you said, the benefit of, how else can someone who left school without hardly any grades make over average income money? The other benefit would be, from an altruistic point of view, doing something that's actually good for the planet. Because definitely in the UK, all the network marketing companies, they're ahead of the curve. They're doing something, and then department stores and supermarkets are following them and saying, oh crap, we need to make our stuff vegan friendly now. Oh crap, we need to be sustainable now too. And it's always the network marketing companies that are leading the way. So there's been a real change in attitude here in the UK, definitely.
And it's not just the UK. We've actually got a big team in the EU. And a lot of that is because of the products, and a lot of that is also because the connotation of network marketing isn't near as bad as it is here in the US. Internationally, network marketing is a way for people to get that actual above average income without having to go to work. And it's very hard to find jobs in some of these places anyway. So when they find a good company with the support that they can have and the products they can sell and make the kind of money that they want to make, it really has been pushed more internationally than it has in the U.S. The U.S. still has a bunch of crazy thoughts towards it.
And Ray, be quite honest with you, any business platform that's a Richard Branson really puts a flag in the ground for it's network marketing. If he does it, then it's got incredible potential. No doubt about that. So
thank you.
All right. So Mitali, back to you.
Okay, so my ideal client would be, well, I work with coaches and consultants. I turn them into published authors within 90 days. And if I had to pick my absolute ideal client, it'd be people who are really passionate about making a difference in the world, getting their voice heard. I mean, just to give you an idea, I've got a lady who's signed up to work with me starting in February, and she's a financial planner, which is like, well, yeah, so great, wonderful. It's a bit boring, really. I mean, we all need financial planners in our life, but otherwise that's not all that great. But what's wonderful about her is she does financial planning for both men and women. She would like to work with more women because she sees a gap there. Women of a certain age in the UK, I would say 50 plus, are of the generation where the guy did all of their financial planning for them. And what now ends up happening is either they become widowed or they become divorced and they don't have a clue what they're doing, literally don't have a clue what they're doing. So she would like to work with those women. But beyond that, more from the altruistic point of view, she's found out there's a specific reason why there's such a huge gender pay gap in the UK. First of all, it's because women naturally tend to be, I don't know whether it's nature or nurture, we tend to be more modest. So we don't always fight for what we're worth. But the problem is compounded because in the UK, a future employer legally can find out what your past employer paid you. So what she found out is over a lifetime, that problem is compounded because each time a woman goes to another role, that new employer finds out what she was paid before, which was less than what a guy was paid. So it literally compounds. And she found out that at retirement, the average UK woman has a fifth of the savings of the average UK man, not even half, a fifth. So she wants to write a book with me because she ultimately wants to leverage the book to build her authority. And she wants to bring in a new law that makes it illegal for a future employer to ask what your past employer paid you, because it's really none of their goddamn business. And so that's the sort of people that I love working with. People who, yes, want to make money, take their business to the next level. I expect she's going to really do incredibly well. She's a very astute lady, already making a lot of money. I suspect she's going to make a lot more money once she's a published author. But beyond that, she has this hunger to really make a difference for women in the UK. And that is my ideal client. So I'm going to have to go. I'm really sorry. I've completely forgot that I actually had another meeting at 2, so I'm already late. But what I've done is, as some of you know this, I've been putting together this free resource, and it's all the steps that I take to write a non-fiction business book. So it's a free resource. I'll put the link of my website in the chat. I'll also put it in the comments as well, because I know Peter likes me to do that. So I'll do that in the comments as well. But if you go there, you can download the free 5 steps to writing and publishing your business book. So you can get that for free.
Which I've done already.
I know, I saw you on my list, Peter. I spotted you there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mitali.
Thank you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Anna, your call, and then Lisa, and then Pat Kern. So Anna, over to you.
Good morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. So my ideal client is a decision maker. So anybody who is responsible for other people, whether it's your employees, whether it's your collaborators or colleagues. If you are a decision maker, so CEOs, executives, so progressive leaders who are looking to make sure they know how to handle on the onslaught of progressive societal norms that we all are expected to be rising to the plate for. So what I help them do is have the skills to match the goals that they set for themselves. And I do that in different ways. I have a master class coming up starting middle of February, which is a small community of leaders and progressive leaders and decision makers. It's a safe community where they can learn how to have those skills to meet those expectations. So it's great if you have goals to set as leaders. It's important to set the right goals, but you need to actually know how to reach those goals. So I work with those leaders, and I help them be confident in knowing that they have the skills and the confidence in themselves to handle any of those situations that come their way. So it could be uncomfortable conversations they have to have, how to manage or facilitate team meetings, how to manage building business relationships, because it's not hard to make it is hard to build personal relationships, and it's just as hard and just as much of a commitment as the same commitment when you're building a business relationship. So it takes time, it takes effort. Sometimes you need therapy. Sometimes you need an outside third party to help you. I help you manage all of those situations, so you have the social skills and the grace that comes from within to manage all of this uncomfortableness that is our reality, especially right now. So that's it. What I do.
So, and are you saying that your specialty is decision makers, whether they're in a corporate area or in a small business area, doesn't really matter, okay? But they're decision makers, right?
Correct. Yes.
But are you also saying that you come across many decision makers who cannot get clarity with their goals?
Absolutely. We are taught to
decision makers.
Absolutely, because you can make a decision towards a goal that might not mean much to you. Which is a lot of the times when we burn out is when we set goals that are not actually true to what we actually want. Right. So,
okay. In other words, they're setting the wrong darn goals, even though they're making decisions.
Yes,
they could be
absolutely.
taking their business in the wrong direction and not optimizing their potential. Is that right?
Absolutely. That's why I cut my own hair and then pay a lot of money to have it fixed.
Good. Okay. Any questions for Anna? Thank you, Anna, by the way. Any questions? Yes, Pat. You have a question? Pat Dryer? No?
Oh, no. Okay. He was just waving.
Oh,
Hello, Pat Dryer.
Okay.
No, I've got one. I've got one. I had my own business. I was a director of a big computer school, and every year I had to go through that standard setting of the financial goals for the year, but also the personal development goals and all that. And yeah, after you do the job for a few years, sometimes you get a little bit, I'll say lax at coming up with the right goals for the organization. You've kind of lost track of what the organization, where it is today and where it could go tomorrow. So I understand what you're saying. I think you really, what you do gives great value to, these people that are decision makers. Absolutely.
Thank you. Absolutely. Nobody taught us how to be decision makers. Some of us are naturally, but not how to harness that magical skill we have.
But
Thank
also,
you.
the idea of actually having the right goals in place and getting clarity on that is something that many entrepreneurs truly just gloss over.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are all sometimes often swept into that sea of generic goal settings, like let's say 6 figures in a year. Maybe we don't want the 6 figures in a year. Maybe we want 7 or 5. So is it true to us?
So,
or are we in the middle of a hype, that wave of everybody's doing it? I should do that too.
So if you're running a business and you're watching this replay and it's not getting where you want to get to, think about this. Usually you think tactics, okay? And that's probably the wrong way to think about it. What you need to do is maybe sit down with Anna and relook at your goals, and then let the goals generate the tactics and the strategy
Yep.
rather than the other way around. Am I right, Anna?
Absolutely. You need strategy before you need tactics.
Right. So I think if that's the situation you're facing and you're struggling a bit in your business, do not play games with this thing called goal setting. Okay, it is essential to your business, and we're lucky to have someone like you, Anna, who's been there and done that and can kick butt in the most polite way possible. Okay.
Indeed. So yes.
So I recommend Anna to you. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you for your support, Peter.
Okay. Now, before we go any further, I'm coming to you, Lisa, next. Hang in there. And Pat, won't be long. Just want to draw attention to Yvonne Jones, and she's put into the chat their ebook, Relationship Marketing, Key to Small Business Success. If that's of interest to you, could you also put that in the comments as well, Yvonne?
Sure, Peter.
Okay. So that's something from Yvonne. And did I miss anything else? See, I think I did. Yeah. Something from Penny. No, that's Spotify. That's Neha's, right? Podcast. Patrick Kern, thanks. 2 bits of protein twice a day. Thanks, mate, for that. Dr. Patrick, good on you. If I've missed anything, Penny's given a link too that you can have a look at. All right. Thank you for your contributions, everybody. Lisa, sorry to hold you up.
No
nice
problem.
To see you this morning, and I know it's difficult for you some mornings to get with us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Peter. And it was really great listening to everyone and how committed everyone is to different audiences, right? So for me, I went through this exercise. I launched Light Your Leadership Inc. So I incorporated officially before Christmas, and had to redevelop my website, and had to go through that reflection. It's like, okay, so, well, I love to help leaders and I'll never turn anyone away. But certainly there are certain areas that we focus in on. And that's, what are some of the things that they don't teach you about in school when it comes to leadership? And I drilled down to 3 streams. One is C-level executives who are really busy growing their companies, and they feel guilty that they're not able to mentor or grow their middle managers. So their managers, their directors, senior managers, et cetera. And so they feel torn between doing the strategy and doing the leadership development. And so we can come in and certainly help take some of the pressure off there and work with their managers and directors and senior managers. So that's one stream. The second stream is I really, really have a lot of time and heart for middle managers. So those are, so either aspiring managers, directors, and what we help them with is particularly heart-centered ones who stomach turns when they hear that they have to play games to get ahead and that they have to be anyone except themselves to get ahead. So we help them to get ahead while staying true to themselves and helping them engage their employees, helping them manage upwards, helping them build really solid relationships with their colleagues, and learning how to make business cases and really standing in their truth and lighting their leadership. And the third group is really interesting. So this one is really more specific. So it's helping managers and directors, senior managers who work in STEM programs. So science, technology, engineering, and math, as well as construction. So I grew up in a family where my dad, I'm a daughter of Italian immigrants. My dad had a small cement finishing company. So I grew up basically playing on the construction site. And also I have a lot of relatives who are engineers. So I feel very comfortable when I work with people in construction and understand and have special insight into their leadership challenges. And so that's an area I've started to really focus on in this last year. I had a great project that lasted 9 months with a team of managers in construction. I just loved it. And I find it's an underserved population. So those are the 3 streams that I'm focusing on now. But of course, as I mentioned, anyone who's struggling with connecting at the human level with their employees and engaging, inspiring them, we're more than happy to serve in that manner. So,
any questions for Lisa? because she is a pretty talented lady, and you've got her here at your disposal for free right now. Any questions? No? Lisa, I've got one.
Sure.
You know me, I always have a question. You made an interesting point when you're talking about the first stream in terms of strategy versus leadership development. Remember that? And you used the word feeling guilty. Can you tell me about that?
So oftentimes, and especially I find in larger organizations, you know, or growing companies, and I call it companies because I do a lot of work with government already, and I really want to get into more of the private sector, nonprofit, and so when I get leaders one-on-one, so C-level executives or even senior managers who are responsible for large numbers of employees, they really feel torn. They're having to grow their business or focus on, and when it comes to government, on they talk about, serving the minister's office, working with senior leaders. So they feel torn because there's only so much time in a day, and they don't necessarily have time to even sit and think about, well, how am I going to delegate this? How am I going to grow my senior managers and my managers? So what happens is they end up having to handle a lot of complaints from employees, low engagement levels, people leaving the company because their middle managers are not able to lead them properly or engage them. Because when people are promoted up the ranks because they're really good at their profession, they're really good in finance, they're really good science, engineering, they're really good at marketing, whatnot, without any second thought to how they're able to engage with their employees at the human level, that hurts the person that's promoted as well as their team. So it's bringing awareness to the fact that if you're promoting people up the ranks, you need to give them time, you need mentorship, the resources available, the coaching, so that they can develop their leadership abilities just the same as they developed their other parts of their professions. So that's where we come in, is to help fill that gap where you have the senior leader and supporting them to grow their next generation, their next cohort of leaders. Okay. So Anna? That's kind of where. Yeah, thanks, Anna has a question, Anna? I think.
It's not so much a question as a comment. Is that I think that it's, if you think about it, the same question that we had for Neha is, how do we recommend you? Who exactly are we having a conversation with that is the right person? And I'm wondering if, let's say, any of us hears a conversation from a friend or a colleague who is a manager, what would be trigger words for us to listen to? For example, as a I'm sorry, Peter, I'm going to take a few minutes. Because as a mediator, I often do understand that people have questions and don't know how to broach this very delicate questions. Like, you seem to have trouble, right? Because if it can come off patronizing, it makes us feel oogie, right, when we are kind of getting in somebody else's business. And I was just thinking that, for example, with something like, you seem to have some, ABC situation going on. I do know a lady that works with this kind of situations or issues. If you want, I can at any time I can set up an introduction, for example, right? So what would be, do you think, something that I can hear that will say, hey, I should introduce Lisa?
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for that question. Very simple. So leaders who find themselves in these situations, be it C-level executives or middle managers who are struggling trying to engage their employees, are very stressed to begin with. So they'll say things like, oh, my employees are driving me crazy. I don't know how to, I'm getting all these complaints. I don't know how to handle it. I'm busy trying to grow the business. Nobody appreciates me. I'm doing all this work, and I'm trying to help them. I did a pizza night the other night and my employees still aren't happy. So they're trying to find ways to engage with their employees. They're trying to make them happy. They don't know how, and they don't necessarily have that clarity to see what the issues are. We can come in and quickly diagnose and say, okay, well, this is what, after listening and hearing what they're saying, what they're complaining about, what they're stressed about, and say, okay, well, maybe, these are some of the things that we could do to help support you so that, you can continue on with the work that you're doing. And in addition, to grow the leadership capacity, either yours or that of your team, and start early. So we can help them with all that. So anyone complaining about their leaders, so that they either have a formal leadership role or they're trying to get a formal leadership role and they're complaining about how stressed they are, they don't have time for themselves, they've tried everything, and people are complaining. That's where we can help.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
I've got 2 quick questions for you too.
Sure.
First of all, you mentioned in the specialty area, construction engineers, Lisa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you implying that construction engineers have limited people skills?
What I was implying is that they have different skills that are not, and this is a generalization, of course, but with the struggles that I hear about, and I certainly grew up observing, is that sometimes what's needed to get things built is not always the same skill or approach as if somebody's struggling at work and you're trying to bring them along to where you're training them, where you're engaging with them, where you're listening to them, etc. As I mentioned earlier, my father was a leader in construction, and we had construction workers come into the house at 5:30 in the morning, having breakfast, etc. They'd wake me up because they were a ruckus, and so I was able to get that insight from a very young age. And what I noticed was when I got into leadership is like, oh, you know what? There's a gap here, because a lot of coaches focus on knowledge working environments, or your big, large organizations or whatnot, that are not necessarily touching on construction. So, and there's a gap there in terms of service. And I think everybody should have an opportunity to access leadership, coaching, mentorship courses. And what I found, like with the group that I work with, whom I love this summer, is a lot of them came out right out of high school. And I was they were in their 30s and 40s. They were managers now. And they never even had a leadership workshop. They never spoken to a coach. I was like their first coach, which was really cool, by the way. I love that. And I love the way that how just a few coaching sessions, some workshops, some training, helping their VPs to relate with them and support them. All of a sudden, they were able to shift their mindset. And that's what, the primary thing we want to do with leadership is help people shift their mindset to that of great people leaders. And to the, by the 6th workshop, they were talking about how to be compassionate with their employees on the work site, and how they needed to look at things and try to step into the shoes of their employees and how to support them while they're struggling, especially during COVID and all the stress that came with that. That was so rewarding for not only, to see them engage at that level with their employees, but also to find their talents. I mean, there was one manager. So what happened there was he kept complaining to senior management, and he had very good reasons. So he was concerned about the health and safety. And so he took it onto himself to, try to flag things to management. You need to do this, we need to do that. And management was hearing that as a complaint. That's how they were receiving it. So what I did was I sat with him and I taught him how to write business cases, how to prepare business cases. And at first he was like, but I don't even have a high school education. I said, you know what? I heard you, you're making good points. Let me show you how you can communicate with senior management in a way that, they see the issue, they see what the costs are, they see, what the solutions are, etc. And he was so proud of himself, So that's what lights me up, to get somebody who doesn't necessarily see their truth as a leader and help them see it, and then how to implement that. That's, I can't even put a price on that. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. And my last question, I'm sorry to take your time, Lisa.
That's okay. No problems, Peter.
Middle managers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of people that I've spoken to who are busting to get out of the corporate world, so to speak, are middle managers, right? They need the skills of you, but even with the skills of you, some of them are burnt. They're so burnt right now that they just want to get out. True?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then people who have joined this group here, right, should be talking to you, because middle managers, one of the options is an online business of some sort, okay? And I'm suggesting that people here reach out to Lisa and at least talk to her about opportunities that they may have, because if Lisa can offer these people another person to talk to help them solve the pain they've got within their corporate environment, then she's still doing the right thing by them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't expect her to
find
sell
out
your
what
business
aligns.
for you.
Yep.
I'm not saying that, Lisa. I'm simply saying to provide an opportunity to consider an option. That's all.
Well,
All right.
we got 2 questions there.
Yep, Stephen and Fred. Stephen?
Lisa, when I was at Motorola, I reported to a director. I was a manager and reported to a director. And if you look up Peter Principle on Google, you'll probably find his picture.
Yes.
He got to be a director because Motorola purchased a company and created the division that we were in. And people who had shares in that company they purchased got positions within management in the company based on their share allotment. And he had been successful and purchased a lot of shares in that company and ended up being a director when he had no business being there. A fellow manager in our group, can I say, in a moment of vintage clarity, shall we say that, since Peter's drinking red wine, he admitted to me that he was embarrassed in his position because he couldn't get past the director that he reported to. And he was the lowest level director. He couldn't get to the rest of the management team that he needed to because his job involved that sort of thing, because this director was incompetent but in control. Shall we say that? And man, where were you? Where were you when we were doing that? It would have been amazing. I left what was an extremely good job. I left because of that guy. Motorola at the time was an interesting company because they paid less than almost any of the other IT companies, and they hired a lot of people right out of college, trained them, and they spent. I mean, in my case, they would send me to seminars and weekend getaways, and if I'd stayed longer, I could have got multiple degrees on the company's dime. They spent any amount of money on training, and yet they had the highest desertion rate. People, middle managers, as Peter said, who wanted something different would leave and go to other higher paying companies, and they would get good jobs because of the training they got through Motorola. And then Motorola, besides having the largest, what's the word I want here, but the abandonment rate, they also had the largest number of people who came back after going out in the rest of the workforce and discovering what the real world was like. They wanted back into Motorola. So it was a very interesting workplace. And everything you said just made me think of this. It just rang true. The problems that were there and the number of managers that felt they weren't able to deliver what they wanted to deliver because of the next level of management being in the way. And they needed to learn how to speak to management so that they could deliver what they were good at. There were a lot of really good middle managers there who then got frustrated and left and never should have. The company was making a really big mistake. As brilliant as Motorola was and as successful as they had been over the years, they were paving the way to their own demise. And ultimately, when they were sold and broken up, and as they are now, the name, the brand is still there, but the company isn't there. And I can just see where you would have fit in amazingly into that structure and been able to really save that company from themselves.
Well,
Anyway,
thank
just
you,
a comment.
Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for bringing that up, because I say there's two silent killers in organizations. One of them is promoting people who aren't ready, who haven't had a second thought to their leadership development, right? So you think about somebody takes 10 years to develop their other skill sets, their craft, and then all of a sudden leadership, they're expected to learn it overnight and without the proper support to boot, right? So figure it out on your own is a lot of the thing. And the other part is that when people do want to move ahead and they ask for advice, they're, instead of being told you need to learn how to write business case and communicate properly to senior management and engage your staff so they have your back and build relationships, they're told you need to play the game to get ahead and you need to be mean to get ahead. So, and therefore that's the manifestation of that, is that you get people in senior management positions who are toxic because they, number one, they don't have the skills, or the good ones are still in the middle because they didn't want to play games to get ahead. So thank you for bringing that very concrete scenario, Stephen. And yeah, not surprising that it ended up the way it did.
Fred.
Yeah, just a quick one. Lisa, where is your target audience? Is it purely US based, or is
No,
it
it's international.
local, or?
It's international. I do a lot of, I do all my work now virtually.
Okay.
And I have strategic allies who, and Anna's one of them actually, of people, or a network of people I rely on to bring them in to work with various leaders. And I just launched last week Light Your Leadership Talks, Little Talks podcast, and it's available on over 16 platforms worldwide. And my book, Light a Fire in Their Hearts, The Truth About Leadership, is also available on all kinds of platforms around the world. So we want to make the world a better workplace. That's what we want to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great book, Fred. Great book.
So we'll see the link for that shortly, Peter, yeah?
Lisa can put the link in there.
Just go to lightyourleadership.com, lightyourleadership.com, and you'll have all the info there. Thank you, Fred.
I have my personally autographed copy. Thank you, Fred.
Got another question by the looks of it.
Question? Who was?
Yvonne. Yvonne had a question, I think.
No, I'm just having to, I have to leave, unfortunately. I have put it in the chat, Peter. I have to leave at 9:30 here, and it's now 9:31, so I gotta go. I'm sorry, Patrick, I won't get to hear you today, but I'll listen to the replay.
Okay, thank you, Yvonne.
At least I put a comment in there too about what I observed about people being promoted when I was in HR in a particular company, people being promoted who were not ready for it because they had no training. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. My pleasure, Yvonne. Patrick, Kern. Your call.
Hey, we got the best for last. Anyway, hey, everybody here, everyone, people who left, you all, I can relate to each one of you. I don't know how I can. It's amazing. You all had inspirational things you gave. Really good, really cool things. And I can relate to every one of you. See, I call myself a master of, see how that goes? A jack of all trades, master of none. See, working in the Navy at the age of 16, I learned how to become a leader, how to manage a certain group of seamen when I was a second-class bosun. I had to teach myself how to handle each person. Then as I got on to tugboats for 40 years, became a chief mate captain, I had to do that again because each time I got on a tugboat, I had to handle each person differently. You just couldn't take one person and hand them all the same. Each person had their qualifications in them and what they can do. It's amazing. And when it comes to my, what's that? Hell, I forgot now. My special people I like to help is the people in health and wellness, like Penny. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be, but when I do my Facebook Lives, I use my own experience, what I have done through my years. I think they're pretty cool. You know, working on boats all my life, I've been around the world a few times, and I met different ethnics and different cultures, and it's really cool. I totally enjoyed that. And right now I'm going, people who I want to relate to more is people who is stuck on prescription medication, especially the painkillers, because I loved, God, I loved them. I love the opiates. They were great. Couple pills and a shot of Jack Daniels. What the hell? I'm not going to lie to you. This is real. You know, that's what I've been all my life. My brother's been there. You know, I just follow suit because I was one of the youngest ones. I went, hell, if it's good for them, it must be good for me. So anyway, that's what I'm focusing on more now, is helping people with that type of problem. And I think I'm a good asset for it, because I tell them my stories on my live, and I'm getting more different people are coming into my lives. I've never seen before. It's pretty cool. You know, I might get one here, might get one there, but I got 3 or 4 just kind of don't give me their names, but that's okay too. You know, and that's what I'm focusing on more, is people who stuck on prescription medication. The people more is like the military veterans who getting out of the military, they don't have a clue what they want to do. You know, and I'm trying to reach out to them more and more with that. Oh yeah, one other thing. This is not even related to this topic. This is way too cool. I've been in my tennis shoe now for 5 days. I started physical therapy on my ankle. And yesterday morning, after I got done with this conversation with a good friend of mine, and I'm waiting for my son to give me a ride down to the physical therapy place, I always turn my bike upside down for the wheels won't get all mixed up. I flipped it up, looked at it, took it outside, and ran around the block with it.
Wow. Good on you.
It felt so good. So I'm back. I'm going to be back riding here shortly.
Well done. Well done.
So that's what I love.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Did you ride the bike, Patrick, or just run around the block with it?
No, I got on it, my friend. But I almost fell off because I had my overhauls on, and that chunk of end of the overhauls got caught on the spokes. So I had to think fast. That's another thing about marketing. Sometimes you got to think on your feet how you want to somebody give you a question. You got to think fast. And my whole life on tugs in the Navy, I had to think. I had to think fast. I couldn't sit there dilly-dally around, because in an instant somebody can die. The jobs I was in, you had to think fast to keep them out of harm's way. So that's how I approach my marketing. I try to take my experience of 40 some years ago in the sea, and I think it's working.
Good stuff, Patrick. And I know people who work with you get someone who's pretty darn real. I mean, what you see is what you get with Pat Kern. There's no doubt about that. Okay. So look, with that, we've gone quite long, and my sincere apologies, but I was fascinated listening to your stories, and I really appreciate the opportunity that you took to share them. So Sandy, Pat, Stephen, Anna, Lisa, Fred, Pat, Neha, Penny has gone, Yvonne has gone. Did I miss somebody? Mitali. I think I got everyone. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you for sharing your passion and your enthusiasm. But give me until tomorrow to actually get this downloaded and uploaded, because I'm going to bed.
Can I ask one question before we close, Pete?
Sure.
Has anybody on here checked out Clubhouse, or did they know about it?
I just got invited to it yesterday. I really don't know anything about it, but
okay.
What is it, Fred?
It's a new social media platform. Basically, and it's hard to describe, but it's basically Zoom for audio or podcast where you can interact with. So it's got rooms, and a lot of the big players are actually. I just got in 2 days ago, and it's
is it a free
addictive.
platform or a paid platform or?
No, free, but it's only for iPhones or iPads, and it's Clubhouse.
It's still on the iPhone, so it doesn't even go on iPads yet, I believe.
No, it'll go on the iPad.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And so if you've got an Android, you can use your phone number as you would from the Android to register, but you download the app onto the iPad and you can use it. But you need an invite. So I've actually set up a group where we're sharing invites.
Right on.
I love the concept, Fred, but I haven't. I mean, Frank Kern's in there. I was listening to him today, and a couple of the other big marketers. 100 people in a room. You can put your hand up, talk to the people. It's really addictive, which is a problem because I had it on in the background, but while I was working. But yeah, I could see it. It could be a benefit, but it can also be a problem. Thank you, Fred. Clubhouse.com, right?
Clubhouse, yeah. And if anybody wants an invite, just touch base with me.
Okay. Thanks very much, Fred. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll talk to you again this time next week. Okay.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you, everyone.
Nice seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.